so easy, right? Not so fast. I get so many questions about tops in my private Facebook group. So today I'm going to share 7 ways that your tops might be making you look older. Hi, this is Netta. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my whole goal for this channel is to help you build a wardrobe and a style that you love so that you look beautiful and feel confident every single day. So when I first started YouTube videos and my private Facebook group, which is linked below, by the way, I really expected to get a ton of questions about some of the things that I consider generally hard to fit, which are pants and dresses and, I don't know, even shoes. But one of the things that I get asked about the most is tops. And I was really surprised that so many of you found tops to be one of the more challenging things to get right. Not only in terms of fit, which is kind of expected because we are all unique and we all have different bodies, and a lot of times the things in stores just don't fit us properly, but it's really also in terms of selecting and deciding what is stylish and what is not stylish and what's going to work and what's not going to work. And making those distinctions between tops that are flattering and contemporary and modern and in style. And they don't have to be trendy, but they have to be contemporary. And then making that distinction between tops that are contemporary and tops that are dated or, passe or out of style or frumpy. So a lot of times when I say frumpy or fashionable, I'm really talking about things that are out of style and things that are in style. So again, we're not necessarily going for trends, but we're going for pieces that look contemporary and that look current. So how do you make that distinction, and how are the tops that you may be choosing making you look older? That's the topic of today's video. A few ways to look at tops that might be making you look older. The first kind of top that might be making you look older is a tunic. I've spoken about tunics before. Tunics are one of those categories of tops that really only exist for women over a certain age. Like, you do not see anyone under the age of 30 definitely wearing a tunic, unless you're wearing it as like a beach cover-up kind of thing. And so I want to make a distinction here about what I'm talking about with tunics. I'm talking about the tunics that are kind of decorated all over and really are just designed to be tunics. I'm not talking about long tops. Now, if you're wearing a longer button down or a longer t-shirt or a longer sweater, that is a more contemporary way to wear a tunic. But I'm talking about the tunics that are actually designed to just be longer, heavily embellished, often patterned tops that are sold for women over 40. So you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to pop up a couple of pictures. These generally have a pattern or a design all over. They generally have a ruffle or some kind of volume at the hem, and they hit at an awkward length, and they've got a lot going on. These are the tunics I'm talking about. If you really want coverage, you're wearing leggings, or you're wearing something that just requires you to kind of cover your bum a little. A long button-down shirt or long sweater is going to be a much more modern option. So one of the ways that your tops might be making you look older is that you are choosing these tunics. And these tunics are they're marketed, they're sold to women over 40, and they're not doing us any favors because they're out of style. I don't think they were ever in style, but they're definitely very out of style because the current silhouette, the current more contemporary silhouette, is a shorter top. So not only are these dated in their details, but they're dated in their silhouette, their proportion, their length. Okay, the next way that your tops might be making you look older is that they might be too busy. And I don't know if this is a way of them trying to distract the eye from the figure flaws that we all feel like we have after a certain age, but they put so much stuff on tops that are aimed at women who are over 40. There's, not only is there a cold shoulder, which is not in style, but then there's also studs, and then there's also ombre, and then there's also a pattern, and then maybe there's some cutouts or lace detail, whatever. Just how many different things can we pile on top of this top to make it so zhuzhed out or so interesting that the eye is distracted from any lumps and bumps underneath? At least that's my theory. That's the only explanation I can think of for why they make these tops that are so busy and so dated and so frumpy. So again, in many cases, when I refer to frumpy, I'm talking about things that are dated. But these are also, they look like mature tops. They don't look like contemporary tops. They look like tops that if you showed it to, even most 35-year-old women would not wear these tops. They are marketed at women who are in their 50s and above generally, and they look that way. They look just out of style, out of date, and that's not the way we want to look. There's no reason why we should stop looking current and contemporary and cool because we're in our 50s or 70s or 90s. I don't care. Either way, you want to look your best. You want to look like you know what's going on in style. These do not look like that. Okay. Dated tops. So trendy tops go out of style. It's so hard because I, like the rest of you, hate to let go of something that was a former favorite. But it's really important to train your eye to see what is current. And so I did a video about this in my private Facebook group. If you're not in that group already, I definitely recommend joining. But I basically went through the Nordstrom site. I filtered by contemporary, and I looked at the sweaters in the Nordstrom contemporary section. And then I went to stores like Chico's and Talbot's and Loft and looked at their versions of those sweaters. And so you're not going to know what's current if you're not looking at the current clothes in stores. And if you don't have the luxury, like I don't, of having a Nordstrom in your town, look online. Go to Nordstrom, shop Nordstrom.com and filter by contemporary. Go to Neiman Marcus, look at the contemporary departments, and look at, just scroll through. Scroll through the first, don't filter by any specific category, but scroll through the first 10 pages in the Nordstrom or the Neiman Marcus or the Bloomingdale's or the Saks, it doesn't matter, contemporary section, and see what the contemporary section looks like. Train your eye to see what is current and what is contemporary. And you're going to be able then to spot what's out of style when you see it at stores that you might feel more comfortable shopping at, like Chico's or Talbot's or Loft or J. Crew or wherever. I mean, J. Crew is not in that same category, and I don't think Loft is necessarily. But if you're going to make the best choices at your favorite stores, you need to know what is currently considered stylish and what is currently working. That's going to be your best bet. So train your eye, look around, look at Instagram, look at Pinterest, see what's new, go to your favorite contemporary websites, like, J. Crew's a good one, Tucker Nuck, Bowden. See what's out there before you make your buying decisions. You're going to start seeing what I see when I look at pieces that are out of style. The next way that your top might be aging you or making you look older is that it might be shapeless. So we all want that balance between fit and flattery, right? And the way to get that is to buy clothes that are tailored to your body. They cannot be so oversized that you and the rest of your family can fit in it at the same time. And you also don't want them to be skin tight, because that's the flip side of the coin. So I'm going to say shapeless is offender number one because I see it the most. But wearing a long, baggy, and shapeless tunic and not balancing it in any other way in the outfit, not making any attempt at flattery, like, I don't know, by rolling up your sleeves or wearing the tunic as a dress or anything like that, you're going to find that you have added a lot of weight and a lot of years to your appearance. So shapeless clothes are not going to be flattering. You always have to have that proportion in your outfits where if you're going to wear something loose, wear it with something fitted. And in general, what you want to go for is items that are tailored. They skim your body. They don't swallow you up. So shapeless tops are another way that your tops might be making you look older. Now, the other extreme that I hinted at is fitted tops. Now, if you wear something super, super fitted and super skin tight, it's also, that's dated. First of all, there's not a lot that's super tight in stores right now. And if it is, it's like a kind of a very bare silhouette, like maybe a cami or a tank top or something like that. So you're not really seeing that many very tight things in stores. But also tight things show all the lumps and bumps. So again, as I was saying when I was talking about shapeless clothes, we want clothes that skim the body. We want them to be tailored to the body. We don't want them to be like skin tight, like where they're glued to our bodies. So it's very unforgiving, and like I said, it's also a little bit dated, and I think it can look a little trying too hard. So in the way that shapeless maybe looks like we're not trying enough, tight can look like we're trying too hard. And tailored clothes that skim the body, that fit you well, are going to have that perfect balance of flattery, and also they look contemporary, and also they don't look like you're like, oh, look at me, I'm letting it all hang out. It's just that they strike the right balance. Okay, the next way that your tops might be aging you, and I'm going to repeat this over and over because I see it everywhere and it drives me crazy, but you're matching your top to your jacket. Now, what I mean by this is take neutrals out of this picture. Neutrals, you can always match neutrals and other neutrals, and you will always be stylish. That's always going to be a good option. What I'm talking about is you're wearing a printed top and you pull a color from the printed top for the jacket that's above it. I'm going to pop up a picture here so you can see what that looks like. If you are using one of the bold colors in your top to choose your cardigan or your jacket, that is a dated and aging look. What you want to do instead is pair that bold and printed top with a neutral jacket. It's going to be a much more contemporary look. Do not use the color from the pattern to pull that color out to layer for your layering pieces. And honestly, barely even for your accessories. Maybe just a tiny little smidge of that color somewhere else in your outfit. But in general, it's more stylish and more modern to wear that printed piece with neutrals, neutral accessories, neutral clothes. In general, if you want that kind of safe bet, wear that printed top with everything else neutral. And that includes especially the jacket or the cardigan that you put on top. The last way that your tops might be making you look older is that they have bad prints. Prints. I'm going to link my how to pick prints over 40 video so you can see what I mean by good prints and bad prints. It's something else we've been discussing in the private Facebook group. But how do you distinguish a good print from a bad print? So it's training your eye again. It's going on Nordstrom and looking at the brands that I mentioned that are really known for their prints. Prints need to be stylish. They either need to be very classic, as in they're just stripes or just plaid and nothing else going on the stripes or the plaid, or they need to be really artistic, really creative, really bold, really interesting. It's the muddy prints, the prints in the middle, the weird paisleys that are mixed with stripes on a top that also has studs on it. That's where it's going to derail your style. So like I said, I'm going to link my video on how to pick prints over 40 in the description box below, because this is something we get so many questions. I get so many questions about, and I know it can be really, really confusing. So bad prints. And one of the bad prints that I'm seeing a lot of now is kind of like faded prints on tunics. Those are going to be aging, they're going to make you look older because they're not in style. So again, train your eye, go to the sites that have the current and the contemporary clothes and look at the prints that they're featuring, and then look for those same types of prints at the stores that you love. So I hope that this was helpful. I just really wanted to run down some of the more common things that I see that come up in my private Facebook group, that come up in my Ageless Style program, where I get questions about a lot. And I know tops can be tricky, just like every other clothing category can be tricky. And I hope this kind of helped you come up with a little bit of a strategy on wearing and choosing and buying tops that are going to look stylish and look modern and look contemporary, because again, that's the end goal. We want to look current. We want to look like we're paying attention to what's happening in style. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope that you liked this video. Definitely click the like button if you liked it. Let me know that you like it and you want to see more videos like it. Comment, let me know what you think of my rundown of items and whether there's something you would add to the list or whether there's something you disagree with. I always love hearing from you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Makes my day when you guys subscribe and continue to follow us here. We are one of the fastest growing over 40 style communities, and we would love to have you join us. And also don't forget to hit the notification bell. It lets you know when I upload new videos every Tuesday and every Friday. Bye, and I'll see you in the next one.